Yo, digital empire builders, ultimate hustlers, solopreneurs. Quick question. What do you do to recharge when you've been going hard in your business? And I'm serious. I want to know, I'm asking for myself, how do you celebrate big wins? What are some of the things that will help you stay sane as an entrepreneur, right? How do you avoid mental, emotional, and physical burnout as an entrepreneur? I'll give you some hints to what I do on a daily basis, or maybe something once a month, once a quarter, half year mark, and then something annually. So I'm soliciting your help. So hustle on in here, man. Real quick, if you do not know me, I am Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite solopreneur survival guy. And my whole mission is to help solopreneurs and side hustlers make more money with less effort so they can stay in a game long enough to get good enough to graduate from solopreneur to entrepreneur and ultimately business owner, and the type of to own the type of business that they can pass down to the next generation and or sell for a profit. So you see what I do daily, right? This is actually what I do to recharge daily. So I go hard for a few hours, and then I come out and I do what's called a grounded sun bath, right? So a lot of us are avoiding the sun like the plague, and it's wreaking havoc on our health. Well, that ain't me. Every day I try to get out here and get me some sun directly on my skin, and then I put my bare feet on the ground as well. That's how I recharge daily. And in Brent Bouchard's book, High Performance Habits, he talks about having a routine of, if you worked hard for an hour, the routine would be go hard for 50 minutes and then take a 10-minute break to reset yourself. And I find that that works for me. And here's why I think it works: because when you first sit down to do a task or a job, think about when you get on your job after you settle in. Those first couple of hours are normally the jam, right? Most productive for most people. And then, you kind of slack off. So for entrepreneurs, I'm trying to be as productive as I can. So if I think about that first 50 minutes going hard, and I set the timer on my Fitbit, right? For that first 50 minutes. And then I'm going to woosah for 10 minutes. And that woosah for me is usually coming out to my backyard if I'm working from my home office. And then I get barefoot, put my feet on the ground, come touch some of the plants in the garden. And when I say garden, I just mean a couple raised beds, right? I'm renting the place that we live now, as we prepare to find us some acreage and really get our homestead on. So I didn't want to tear up these people's yard. Some of you guys have been following me for a while. My other place, I had stuff growing everywhere, right? So I come out here and check on the garden, put my feet on the ground, and I really try to sit in the sun for as long as I can, and soak up some of those sun rays to recharge my vitamin D. And then I'll go back in, set my Fitbit for another hour or however long I think the next task is going to be. So some of you guys are coaches and consultants, some of you guys are freelancers and you do client work. So the way I manage my client work is, I set a timer for a specific task to get done on their account. When you hire me to do work for you, I tell you about how long the actual whole task is gonna, whole project is gonna take, unless we run into some issues with, getting assets from you and that kind of stuff. Otherwise, we're pretty much on time with our projections. And the way I make those times work is I literally set timers and for certain things to get certain things done. So for instance, I got a client that I'm working with now, and I'm building her autoresponder. So I set a timer for how long I'm going to be working on this particular portion of the project, on her project, for each day, and that's going to get me to the end result to deliver the product on time. But even then, if say instead of a full hour I have, maybe I have two 25-minute blocks. I go 25 minutes in this project, 25 minutes in that project. And then at the 50-minute mark, I'm back outside. If I'm working in my actual office space, then it's still the same. I take a walk around the building. I usually don't take my feet off. I take my shoes off and get grounded in that sense. It's a little weird to see a black guy right walking around in the middle of Central West End with no shoes on, right? But you don't have to be barefoot to get grounded. I can literally go lean up against a tree, right? And this is significant to me because I've always felt that my secret weapon to being consistent, to going hard in my business, is the way I take care of my body and my mental health, right? I think that's a superpower for me. I'm naturally an active guy. So let me get to your comments. You guys, if you guys got comments, don't hesitate to drop those comments in there as well. Um, so I think that's part of my ability to be consistent, stay consistent, is trying to stay on top of my health as best I can. So leaning up against a tree is a good way to ground yourself. And what grounding does, it floods your body with negative ions. And as I sit in front of my laptop all day, like most of us do, especially if you're in a digital marketing space and you're doing a lot of client work, you're in front of a laptop, you're on your cell phone, making things happen, right? Well, you're filling your body with positive electrons and ions, and they actually steal or leach from your body. So what I like to do is I put my feet on the ground. It floods my body with a lot of those negative electrons. So when the positive electrons are trying to leach from my body, I just got a lot of free negative electrons floating around, and they can latch on to them and not have to rob them from my cells. And I believe that's how grounding works, right? So I try to ground myself at minimum 20 minutes a day actively outside, but then I sleep on a grounded sheet every night too. So I'm just trying to be around her for a long time because I feel with my creativity and my patience and the gifts that God gave me, I can really do a lot to help heal this world. And I believe you can too. So let me know in the comments, man, what do you do? King Quill, health is definitely wealth. Yeah, and when you take it from that approach, like I even got a newer outlook on my health these days because I finally got my wife on board with uh, living outside of the city. We're actively looking for land, 10 acres minimum to build a homestead and start, some small farming and that kind of thing. And I realize how healthy you have to be to do that kind of work every day. So I've always try to work out to live long, but now my workouts have a new meaning. Like I'm working out now because I want to be healthy. So when I get on this property, I don't want to be huffing and puffing as I'm trying to feed the chickens or move the cows or chasing pigs or building structures or shelters and that kind of stuff because working on a homestead is hard work, right? I want to be healthy enough to do that. So but as an entrepreneur, just in general, I think taking that approach with, hey man, I want to get up and work out, clear my head, start with a certain amount of energy every day. I think that's important. I want to be physically fit, physically strong, um, because as I get older, it becomes harder and harder to lose weight and it's easier to stay in shape than it is to get in shape and I kind of let myself get out of shape a little bit right now. When I get up in the morning and I go to the gym, I'm running about a quarter mile right now, right, without stopping. There was a time where I used to run 2 or 3 miles a day. It ain't This ain't that, right? Because I let myself get out of shape and I'm finding it is super hard to get back to that level. So I'm fighting to get there, and then I'm gonna stay there once I do get there. Uh, but I think looking at your health as a as an asset to your business is a game changer. In fact, one of my mentors, Henry Doris, talks a lot about being a CEO, and he's like, if a company was going to hire a CEO, they literally put that person through a rigorous health screening before they can hire them. Like the job is contingent upon their health, because if they can't be around to run the company, then I'm going to get someone who is. And I want you to think about this. From the CEOs that we do know publicly who are running these big corporations, how many of them do you know that are out of shape? How many of them do you know that don't look fit, that working out isn't a part of their daily routine or at least their weekly routine, right? Well, I'm the CEO of my life. Being fit, getting fit has to be part of my daily and weekly routine. So, in the comments, do me a favor. Let me know, what is it that you do to recharge? I have my daily recharge, but there's something that I want to start doing weekly. There's something I want to start doing monthly. Something I want to start doing every quarter. Something bigger every 6 months, and then something once a year. So, like once a year, I certainly want to go and put my whole body in the ocean. You talk about grounding yourself, man. Go out, get in the ocean, right? For 7 days. That'd be cool. But what do you guys do on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, annual? I'd love to get your thoughts on this. But that is my time, man. And now it's time for me to get back to work. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Oh, if you don't know, I've got a new course coming out. If you are an entrepreneur and you don't have any of your own products yet, if you are a coach or consultant, you're a network marketer, and you don't have at least an ebook or course of your own that's in alignment with what you do, this course is certainly going to help you. So all you got to do is text the number on the screen, 314. Um, what is it? 916. That ain't the right number, Cortez. 314-948-6966 is the actual right number. So I'm gonna have to go change that. I don't even know what that number is, but nevertheless, if you text me your name and the keyword and text the keyword um, wait list, then I'll get you on the waiting list, so you'll be the first to be notified when that course drops. I think it's going to be helpful. Uh, Quill says I go to float therapy at True Rest Float Spa to recharge. Man, that's dope. That's dope, man. So yeah, I gotta find something like that, man, to do on a regular basis. And be more consistent with that and add that to my self-love routine. But again, I appreciate you for dropping your insights. Until next time, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Hustle up.